Hello all. Today we are discuss about JNDI. JNDI is nothing but Java Naming and Directory Interface. It's a Java API for the directory service. Look allows Java software clients to discover and look up data and resources in the form of Java objects via a name. Like all the Java APIs that interface with the host system, JNDI is the independent of the underlying implementation. JNDI offers naming and directory functionality to applications written using Java. It is independent of directory service implementation. The JNDI layer interface is between the Java program and underlying naming services. As we already discussed in our last lecture, the service provider interface SPI for the JNDI can be used to plug in additional naming services to the JNDI layer. Then our next topic is JNDI architecture. JNDI application consists of the both application programming interface, that is API, and service provider interface, that is SPI. JNDI API allows Java to get access to different naming and directory services. Then common naming services. JNDI offers plug-in service providers for a variety of well-known name services. The authorized standard for an internet naming service is the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, that is LDAP. LDAP is a genuine directory service that supports both attributes and objects name. LDAP is quickly becoming the enterprise's de facto directory service. The domain name system, that is DNS, is an internet naming service that allows device on a network to be identified. Novel Directory Service, that is NDS, is a directory service from Novell that offers information about network services including files and printers. NDS is the most commonly found in a scenarios where Novell is the primary networking software. Sun Microsystem Network Information Service, that is NIS, delivers system-wide information on machines, files, user, printer, and networks. NIS is typically found on Solaris computer, but it is also supported on Linux and a few other Unix platforms. Some more specialized name systems are also supported by JNDI Corba for distributed component programming and RMI for distributed Java programming are the two examples. Although Windows Active Directory is not a named service provider in JNDI, it is supported. The JNDI LDAP service provider interface is used to access the LDAP interface in Windows Active Directory. Then next topic is naming conventions. Each naming service has its own mechanism for supplying a name. Perhaps the most familiar naming convention is DNS. For supplying the name, each naming service has its own mechanism. The most well-known naming service is DNS, which assigns a unique name and address to every machine connected to the internet. The following is the DNS host name that most reader will recognize. http www.samspublishing.com is a host name used by DNS. In contrast, LDAP names, on the other hand, are based on the X.500 standard and employ differentiated names like this imaginary example UID is equal to john.doe, OU is equal to people, DC is equal to example, DC is equal to com, or CN is equal to Martin Bond, OU is equal to author, O is nothing but SAMS, and C is equal to US. User of Microsoft Active Directory Service will be familiar with this format, which is based on X.500 but utilizes a forward slash to divide the individual name component, that is UID is equal to or CN is equal to Martin Bond slash OU is equal to author slash O is equal to SAMS slash C is equal to US. This is all about the naming conventions. Then our next topic is setting up remote method invocation RMI with applets. Writing an applet that communicated through RMI is greatly simplified because the applet already invokes a security manager for loading remote files. An applet using RMI does not require a RMI security manager. It contrasts through an applet cannot be opened network connection other than to the server from which the applet was loaded. Therefore, the RMI registry, the server registering the remote object, and the HTTP server from which the applet and the stuff file are located must be the same host. When posting the applet on an HTTP server, but sure to place all the client files in the same directory as the applet class file. You can place a single jar file in the applet directory and specify the jar file through the archive attribute in the applet tag. Applet client that communicate to a remote object through RMI, since the RMI registry and the server are located on the same host in which the applet was loaded. The host for the RMI URL is determined by a call to get codebase.get host. This figure represents the remote method invocation using applet. Now let us consider the program for applet that communicates to a remote object through RMI in Netscape 6. The program is remote integral applet.java import java.awt import java.awt.event import java.rmi import java.net import java.io import javax.swing. This class is an applet version of remote integral client that connect to a remote machine for performing numerical integration in a sine, cosine or quadratic equation. As an applet possesses its own security manager, a RMI security manager is not needed to load the stuff classes. Public class remote integral applet extend JApplet implements action listener, private evaluatable shapes, private remote integral, private JLabel result, private JText field star input, stop input and step input, private JCombo box combo, public void int string host get code base dot get host, try remote integral is equal to in bracket remote integral naming dot lookup RMI / host plus remote integral. Catch remote exception RE report error remote exception plus RE catch not bound exception NBE report error not bound exception is equal to plus NB catch malform URL exception MFE report error malform URL exception plus MFE container context is equal to get content pane setup combo box that is shape is equal to new evaluatable new sign new cos new quadratic combo is equal to new J combo box shapes context dot add combo border layout nor input area. Start input is equal to new JText field, stop input is equal to new JText field, step input is equal to new JText field, result is equal to new JLabel, panel label panel is equal to new JPanel, new grid layout 4,1 label panel dot add new JLabel start label panel dot add new JLabel stop label panel dot add new JLabel step label panel dot add new JLabel result context dot add label panel dot comma border layout dot west JPanel input panel is equal to new JPanel new grid layout 4,1 input panel dot add start input input panel dot add stop input panel dot add step input panel dot add result context dot add input panel comma border layout dot center setup button that is JPanel button panel is equal to new JPanel new flow layout J button submit is equal to new J button submit dot add action listener this button panel dot add submit context dot add button panel comma button layout dot south public void action perform action event try int step integer dot parse int set input dot get text double stop start is equal to double dot parse double start input dot get text double stop is equal to double dot parse double stop input get text show status is equal to calculating evaluatable shape evaluatable combo dot get selected item double area is equal to remote integral integrate start comma stop state comma shape result dot set text double dot to string area show status catch number format exception NFE report error bad input plus NFE catch remote exception RE report error remote exception plus RE private void report area string message system.out.println message show status message. This program represents how we can communicate or applet that communicate to a remote object through the RMI in Netscape 6. Then our next topic is remote object activation. The RMI, that is Java Remote Method Invocation System, is a mechanism that enables an object on one Java virtual machine to invoke method on an object in another Java virtual machine. Any object whose method can be invoked in this way must implement the Java. The ability to automatically create the remote object triggered by request for the references to this object. Support for the activation groups in which the groups of activable remote objects are executed in the same Java VM, which is automatically started by the activation service if needed. The amount of overhead caused by RMI server software is one of the major drawbacks of adopting RMI for large and sophisticated systems. Assume you are building a large system that has a variety of RMI service interfaces and server implementation. In such a system, each server would have to run all of the time, even if the client software only use it occasionally. Remote objects that implement RMI service interfaces must be created and exported by servers, which requires memory and CPU time. There will be as many JVM instances as there are services if each implementation is created as a separate server. So a system with a dozen RMI server would require at least a dozen JVMs, potentially more if the RMI registry program is used. Among all other, this is only a small distributed system. Imagine a huge one that runs endlessly but is rarely used. This results in CPU cycle being wasted and more RAM being used than is required. There was no solution to remedy this problem prior to JDK 1.2 and the Java 2 platform, because this is a server problem. For medium to large scale software development projects that use RMI, Sun Microsystem address it in a Java 2 platform released by introducing remote object activation. The concept of remote object activation as well as its implementation may be difficult for reader to grasp. It will not be acceptable to design and execute an active table RMI service in every situation. For example, if you just have a few services that are virtually always operating, the performance improvements from an active table version may be negligible compared to the hassless associated. Nonetheless, this is a vital technology to be aware of for large-scale systems, and it is really beneficial. Then, what are the key features provided by RMI activation service is the ability to automatically create remote object triggered by a request for references to these objects. Support for activation group in which the group of activatable remote objects are executed in the same Java VM, which is automatically started by the activation service if needed. The ability to restart remote objects if they exist or destroyed due to a system failure of some kind. This can add a certain degree of fault tolerance to RMI applications. In short, the remote object activation means the problem of running a large number of the ideal RMI services can be solved with the remote object activation. It permits the services to be registered but not instantiated with the RMI registry. Instead, they remain dormant until a customer summons them, at which point they will awaken and complete their task. The remote method invocation activation system daemon RMID is a special daemon process that listens for this request and instantiates the RMI services on demand. A request is routed to the activation daemon process which created the service using some particular tricks behind the scenes. This is all about the remote object. So thank you guys.